Good afternoon, children. Today's chapter is The Heavenly Parasol, prose 1, page 1. And first, let me introduce myself. I am Rajesh Rajagopal, your new English teacher for this academic year. Now, there is a pre reading task. You have to read the following passage and answer the questions that follow. This is something I think which you can do at home and submit it to me in the group. I'll directly go to the chapter now. Read the following story and appreciate the importance of a parasol. A parasol is nothing but an umbrella, a heavenly umbrella, a divine umbrella, which protects good people from not just from rain but from all evil things. Now, this is a chapter, the heavenly parasol is a chapter from the ancient Puranas of India, and this mainly teaches us a lesson or it gives us a message that we should be kind to others, and it also propagates against the killing of human beings. Nowadays, you might have observed a lot of killings are going on, terrorist activities, and so many other things are taking innocent lives. So, this chapter gives us the message that we don't have the right to kill anybody, any human being or any living being. Now, I'm going to read the chapter. There was a beautiful princess in the town of Pragjyotisha called Amritaprabha. When she came of age, the king held a Swayamvara to enable her to choose her husband. Many illustrious suitors, lured by tales of Amritaprabha's beauty, assembled there. Among them was Meghavahana, the great grandson of a former king of Kashmir. Amritaprabha slightly cast her eyes over the court and wondered whom she would choose. To Meghavahana's surprise, the princess stopped before him and put the garland around his neck. He rose to his feet, unable to contain his joy. Now turn to next page. The couple moved forward to seek the king's blessings. As the king stepped down from his throne, the priest cried out in surprise, "Your Honor, the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over the prince." "It is true," exclaimed the king. "My son, you are favored by the gods." Meghavahana looked up in surprise, wondering at the meaning of these words, and all at once he saw by his side a beautiful, dazzling white parasol with exquisite decorations that was casting its shadow over him. I have already explained to you in the beginning what is the meaning of a parasol. It's a light umbrella which protects people from the sun. Now, this parasol of Varuna, Varuna is the god of rain. So, his parasol has cast its shadow over the prince. So, this means the prince is favored by the gods. The prince is blessed by the gods. This is the parasol of Varuna, the lord of the seas, explained the king. It casts its shadow on none else but a sovereign of the whole world. You are destined for glory and brilliance. So the parasol belongs to Varuna, the god of the seas, and it casts its shadow on somebody who is fit to be the king of the whole world. That's what the king is telling. Dazed by these portents and by his good fortune, Meghavahana brought his bride and the divine parasol back home. Upon his return, the ministers of the Kashmir court sought him out and offered the throne to him. "We are dissatisfied with our present ruler," they said. "He has devoted himself to a life of prayer, and the affairs of the kingdom lie neglected. The people suffer because of this. Your noble character and bravery are well known in these parts. Honor us and the land by accepting our offer." Meghavahana became the king of Kashmir. Soon he proclaimed a law against the killing of living beings. It became his ambition to conquer other kingdoms to impose this law on them as well. Now we can observe here, children, Meghavahana is a very noble person. He is a very gentle and kind person. There is a law in his kingdom against killing any living being, any human being or any animal. So, what he wants to do now is conquer other kingdoms so that this law can be imposed there as well. Once, while on an expedition near the sea, the king told his weary army, weary means tired, to rest in the shade of some palm groves. I must use this time to plan a way to conquer the island of Lanka, he thought. It is a land of demons and needs to be taught the ways of peace. But how will I cross the great seas with my army? Now, you must be familiar with Ramayana. At least most of you. You must have heard about Ramayana at least. Ramayana is a beautiful story. It's one of the ancient epics of India in which you come across the kingdom of Lanka, which is ruled by Ravana. Ravana kidnaps Sita, who is Rama's wife. Rama goes to Lanka, kills Ravana, and brings back Sita. Now, the same Lanka, it's the kingdom about which Meghavahana is planning, because he says Lanka is a land of demons and they need to be taught the ways of peace. All of a sudden, there was a cry in the air. It seemed to come from a wood by the shore, not far from where the royal horses were tethered. The cry came again, and the king heard the plaintive call. Even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain. Here you observe the word wood. The word wood means a forest. Okay? From a forest, there came a call. Even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain. Slain means killed. In his agitation, the king did not wait to summon his officers, but ran towards the wood. Flowing through the undergrowth, he fought his way till he came to a clearing. There before him was a temple of Chandika or Durga with some sort of human sacrifice in progress on the steps. You must have heard about Durga Devi or Chandika or Kali. She is an avatara or incarnation of Chamundeshwari, Mother Chamundeshwari. And you all know very well, Chamundeshwari is the goddess who protects our Mysore city. We have the Chamundeshwari temple on Chamundi Hills, which is a very famous tourist spot in Mysore. Now here, coming back to the story, a man lay on the ground, his arms raised for mercy, and a menacing looking barbarian stood over him, brandishing his sword. Now the meaning of a barbarian is somebody who is very cruel and who likes to harm others and who likes to kill people. Stop, cried the king, shocked at the sight. You wretch, you dare threaten another's life in my realm means the kingdom. The barbarian dropped his sword in terror and fell on his knees before the king. O noble one, have mercy. I am the leader of a troop of barbarians that live in this wood. My little son has fallen prey to some disease and is on his deathbed. If I kill this man, the gods will be pleased and save my son's life. If you prevent this sacrifice, my son dies and the rest of my troop will give up their lives with him. This barbarian has a little son who is suffering from some disease and is almost on the verge of dying. So, this barbarian says, if I kill this man and sacrifice him to the gods will be pleased and they'll save my son's life. If you prevent this sacrifice, my son will die, and all my people, the rest of my troop, they will also die with him. The king glanced towards a bundle on the temple porch and presumed it to be the sacrificed boy. His heart was torn with confusion and compassion. Compassion means, it's the other word, it's the synonym for kindness. This man whom you desire to protect, continued the barbarian, was wandering about alone and friendless in the forest. Is he of more value to you than this child with whom many persons are connected? The victim sat crying on the ground, a look of terror on his face. Tears fell from the barbarian's eyes. Sir, tell me what to do, he cried. I cannot see my son suffer this way. The king spoke firmly. Do not be distressed. I'll save your son as well as this victim. I offer my body in sacrifice to Chandika. Kill me, O barbarian, May these two persons live. Now we can observe here, children, King Meghavahana is a very noble person. He doesn't want anyone to die in his kingdom. So he says, I'll myself offer my body to Chandika Devi so that your son will also live and this person will also live. But actually, children, we all should keep one thing in mind. This is a very old story which happened maybe 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. But nowadays, all these human sacrifices and animal sacrifices are almost outdated. Now, nobody believes in sacrificing a human being or an animal for any god. To be very exact, no gods demand human sacrifice or animal sacrifice. The king, the barbarian, struggling between incredulity and fear, took a step backwards. Sir, you are the king. Your life should be protected at all times. Do not pity this victim. Let him die. His life is of no significance. The king shook his head impatiently. If I can use my body to stop a killing, why should I not? Do not speak another word, kill me. The barbarian hung his head and made no move to take his sword. If you cannot bring yourselves to strike at me, I'll use my own sword for the purpose. So saying, the king drew out his sword. The barbarian and the victim watched in horror as Meghavahana was about to strike himself. His head was covered with divine flowers of exquisite color and perfume, and someone held back his arm. The king whirled around in surprise and beheld a person of heavenly appearance. Then he realized that the barbarian, the victim, and the ailing boy had vanished. A divine being addressed the bewildered king, I am Varuna, the lord of the seas. I have come to reclaim my parasol that was carried away from my town by the powerful Bauma, the father of your father in law. It has powers to quell calamities in my land. I created this illusion to test your nobility of mind. You are truly compassionate and noble. Now we come across a word here which is calamities. We people keep on, hearing about several natural calamities that have taken place in our country recently, like floods, earthquake, heavy rains, etc., etc. Very recently, as recently as 2 weeks ago, there were heavy rains and floods in many parts of our own state, Karnataka, that is Kodagu and North Karnataka, Mangalore, Udupi, etc. So the meaning of calamity is something which damages property and people. Meghavahana bowed before the divine being and returned the parasol reverently to him. Then he asked hesitantly, O Lord, encouraged by your praise, I wish to ask for a boon. I need help to cross the waters so that I may conquer the islands. Varuna smiled, so be it. When you desire to cross the ocean, I'll pull away the water. Then he disappeared with the parasol. The following day, Meghavahana assembled his troops on the shore. The water swelled and crashed on the sand, and the soldiers trembled at his might. Meghavahana rode forward and plunged into the foaming ocean. All at once the waters parted, and the king, smiling at his troops' astonishment, beckoned them to follow him. In this wondrous manner, Meghavahana reached Lanka and won over its king Vibhishana in the form of friendship. Now, many of you might have read Ramayana or you might have watched the TV serial Ramayana. Vibhishana was the younger brother of Ravana. Ravana was an evil person, but Vibhishana was a very good person. So Vibhishana tries to advise Ravana not to harm Sita in any way, but Ravana never listens to him and he throws Vibhishana out of his kingdom. Vibhishana goes to Rama, and Rama gives him shelter. Vibhishana helps Rama in the war, and finally, after Ravana is killed, Vibhishana becomes the king of Lanka. So now the same Vibhishana is the king of Lanka. Meghavahana reaches Lanka, and he becomes Vibhishana's good friend. On returning home, Amritaprabha welcomed him and then looked around in confusion. Where is the parasol, my lord? She asked. It never leaves your sight. It was never mine to keep, he answered. Yet the mark of favor shown to me by its divine owner will guide me through my life. As he spoke, the skies darkened, as if the parasol was casting its shadow over him, even from its heavenly abode. This completes this chapter, that is the heavenly parasol. Now, what I want you all to do is read the chapter once at home. If you have any doubts, you can contact me, you can come back to me. I'll be clarifying your doubts. Once you become fully thorough with the chapter, let me know. I will share the notes with you people, the notes of this particular chapter. Okay, am I clear, children? Okay, so thank you very much. Have a nice day. Ma'am?
In between the messages coming.
No, that's why now
And now you speak.
Yeah, now I recorded for 8th standard. I put them over in aeroplane mode and then I did the recording.
Okay.